There's a man falling through clouds from the sky and falls into a pool. A lot of people have gotten injured. It seems like a battlefield. Now, 28 years earlier, and it's December 2022. Den is a biology teacher in a high school, and his goal is a military research lab. There's a party going on, he's home, and his daughter is here. She takes stuff from him. The World Cup FIFA is on TV. His wife asks for his card suggestion. He's going to have to talk to Arthur right now. His daughter is looking at him. He promises to be back before the game ends. His dad has sent a Christmas card. He throws it in the bin, and nobody is eating her tuna Santa. He leaves. Arthur is on the line. He brings experience in the private sector as an excuse to tell him that they have found someone else who is fit for them. He's in a strange feeling furious with himself, and kicks the street bin. He gets back to the couch. His daughter talks to him about the tuberculosis vaccine and its discoverer, which he found in worms and insects. She wants to be the best like him in science. He tells her to be the best. One has to promise themselves to do what nobody can even think about. His wife knows his situation. As a player runs with the ball towards an empty goal, there's a glitch. It gets dark, and something is appearing in the middle of the field. A lot of soldiers have landed in the field, and the whole world is seeing it live. Their lieutenant is here. She says, "We are you, 30 years in the future." There's a war in the future with no humans, and they're losing it. In the next 11 months, if they don't help them, humanity will vanish. To save humanity, they're their last hope, and they have to fight with them. After 12 months, the first 1,000 soldiers are sent to the future for this fight. After 7 days, hopes have failed, as only a few survived. Only 50% of military personnel are able to jump, so world leaders have said yes to recruit civilians. In spite of sending soldiers every week, in the future, less than 500,000 humans are left. 50% of civilians sent to the future have died, and people are coming out to protest against this war. Den is asleep on his couch. He goes to his daughter's room as she has had a nightmare. He asks her to breathe and hugs her, pretending to be squeezed by her. In school, he's teaching photosynthesis, but not a single student is interested. He stops, takes his coffee, and asks them for a topic suggestion to talk about. Martin wants to talk about ancient volcanoes, and everyone knows it. He says volcanoes mean nature's fury. Students say these marks and school are useless. They've seen the recent death toll and think they'll lose. He says those estimates are for 2051, 30 years from now. He tells them that the most needed thing right now is scientists. He receives an alert for his reporting to a local military office. People are protesting outside. His full name is James Daniel Forrester Jr., simply Den. They ask for his documents. A medical technician asks him to take off his shirt. They tie him with a seatbelt. They ask about his daughter's missing birth certificate in case he's KIA in war, so that they can find them $1 million. His hand is pulled, and a lady tells him that he is selected for this duty. Reports say that at 11:23 Eastern Time, October 13, 2030, he'll be dead in 7 years. He asks the technician to keep his hands away from his mouth, and a machine injects something into his hand. With this biosignature device, they'll be able to track him anywhere on Earth, and it will be removed after 7 days of duty. He has 24 hours to report for basic training. A lady knows about him being a squad leader in Iraq's war 15 years ago. His wife is counseling war victims who have returned alive from the future war. She sees his device. Only 30% return. She asks him to run. She asks him to take help from his dad for her and their daughter, Muri. He is here at a plane yard and says hello. Someone is showing him a gun. He couldn't recognize him because he didn't shave. It's his father with a new gun. He has a new car standing here and a Mustang parked around back. His device is C-Series, 2nd generation, and is connected to his pulse. He drinks before and opens it. As Den talks about his engineering degree and his conflict with the government, he doubts if he has a recording device. He doubted him for entrapment since he appears from nowhere and talks about his conflict with the government. Feds can be in his Jeep. His father says that for years, you didn't take my help. Den says for years, we kept having hope for you to come for help. He didn't come to his wife's funeral. After he returned from Vietnam, he had become dangerous and was mentally unstable. That's why he left. Den says, no, you ran because you were a coward. He forbids him to send Christmas cards to his home. He's back home. He says if I don't go, we don't know what'll happen to this world. He has to tell his daughter himself. She is looking for a vaccine. He teaches her and has broken a cable. He's gonna give her $20 for saying to mom that she broke it. He tells her and she gets sad. She knows that he's gonna fight. He promises her that he will be back. These soldiers have one thing in common. Whatever age they are, occupation, ethnicity, or gender, whatever their background, here they are now heroes and will fight for their tomorrow as a global force. Sergeant Diaz is their instructor. The enemy's weak points are throats and belly. Guns are their friends. Their tour will be for 168 hours, and if they're alive and have the hand device on, they'll be automatically brought back here no matter where they are. Jump bands have their teams. Charlie and Den are in the same team. Charlie is nervous as hell. Charlie tells Den that the man in the red shirt is Dorian and is the only Russian survivor, and this is his third tour. A bald girl is showing the middle finger, so they turn. Charlie was a teacher. Now he's R&D director in a geothermal energy company. He has noticed that most of the people here are 40 plus because they'll be dead until that war comes, and the trainers are so young because they haven't been born yet. They are briefed to meet the research team in a facility in 2051. They'll use a jump link, which is made of chewing gum and wire-made structure wormhole. Every weekend, white spikes disappear, and that day, soldiers are deployed.